Count us
Hey,
down,
what's
man.
up, everybody? This is your boy Gonzo, and I'm here with the beautiful
You're
Christine
not
Lopez
live.
from
You're
In
not
the
live.
Ring with Christine.
It's not live.
We live, baby girl. Let's go.
Okay. Hey guys, sorry. I didn't see the little live flashing, so I wasn't quite sure. So yes, and my partner and my brother Gonzo, he's here with y'all today too. And I've got two of my other brothers from USA Boxing here, Mark and Tim. How y'all doing today, guys?
All good.
Excellent.
I see you're doing good, Tim. See that
Great.
beach in the background, Mark, I'm sure you're doing good too. How's the weather over there in Boston?
It's nice. Finally get a nice weekend. So
That's good. So how hot does it get?
out here it's muggy. We get muggy
Muggy?
weather. Yeah, it gets hot and muggy. Then
So,
we
Mark,
get-
you're in Boston.
Yeah, Boston.
Boston's a beautiful city.
Boston.
Had the privilege to visit
Boston.
Boston and go to the Kona store.
Yeah, the corner. Yeah.
Did you
Got
go
one
on
right
your
around the
path?
corner, right there. I can see it.
And Mark has a beach like in front of his house. He just got his house, so congratulations on that.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why I'm
definitely.
here, because I thought Mark was going to show his beach. So I'm like, I'm going to show
Yeah, you got to show your beach too.
Yeah. You're trying to one up me, Tim.
Yeah,
That's
y'all
the way of
both
the
have,
game.
have dime pieces. That's for sure. That's for sure. So I know Gonzo had some questions because I mean, he kind of wants to know what goes on in camp and what
Hey,
goes
well,
on with the
look, I
athletes.
was
and
told that we were going to be privileged with the visitation today of two of the great boxing coaches for Team USA Boxing. I'd like to start off with you, Coach Tim. Let us know how you got started and how you begin to be involved with Team USA. Can you let us know a little bit of that?
Yeah, so Cincinnati's kind of a boxing-rich town, and just being involved with some of the coaches that were there. We have coaches like Mike Stanford's been to 3 Olympics, as trained world champions, and so I just got interested in the coaching aspect of it, and there was a couple of boxers from our gym that would do well, go to national tournaments. Do well, some of them national champions, and just decided that that might be something that I want to do. I filled an application, helped out the juniors and the youth for about a year, and then made the jump. Got asked to work with the elite boxers. So pretty simple process, but the weeding out process is going to camp and working, see how well you work with others and other coaches and how you connect with the boxers. If that doesn't happen, they don't ask you back. So I was fortunate that they would ask me back, and then pretty soon considered one of the 5 core guest coaches. So
Good deal. How about you, Mark? Can you tell us how you got involved with Team USA?
Yeah, I mean, kind of similar. I own a gym out here in Boston, so I've been taking boxes around to the national tournaments for a few years now, a few years back then, and then I just randomly put my application in too. I didn't think nothing of it, and I said, "Oh, that'd be cool to jump in, maybe check out the national scene up in OTC." I knew a few guys had been up there, and then they called me. I jumped right into that. I was in the World Championship camp, 2018, I believe. I think 2017, 2018. I can't remember, but I jumped into that camp, and it went well. And then they kept calling me back, and it's hard to say no when they call you back and you to go out there, because it's a great atmosphere, a great experience. So every time they call me, I try to get out.
Well, good deal. I mean, I guess only the good guys come back, right?
And our girls, good girls.
Most definitely.
Definitely, there has to be a cohesiveness. I mean, we have to get along. We have to be on the same page, and we have to have a good relationship with the athletes. It's so important. It's so much more than just boxing, going to nationals. Knowing the basic boxing. You have to really. It's more than that. Wouldn't y'all say that, guys? It has to be so much more.
Yeah, so it's not just Christine's not there just because she's a girl. We've had other females come through and they just didn't make the cut. The connection with the athletes and bring stuff from the boxing world as well. So even though she's a female doesn't mean she automatically gets the spot. So it's the same process.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's a good test of your character if you can work with other people. I think it's great because you got to kind of check your ego, because everybody has what they know, but no one knows everything. So it's great when you can really work with somebody and say, all right, they're doing a great job of this, I can add this without taking away anything. I think that's where you really become a good unit. I think we do a good job with that.
Yeah, and I mean this ain't no little league stuff. This is, you guys are going worldwide, and training some of these guys that are going to be facing the other best side of the rest of the world, right? So, I mean, I've had the privilege of knowing Coach Lopez, Christine, for quite some time now, and I mean that her story itself is also inspiring to be able to have a female on as part of one of the coaches too. So that's how we were also privileged to have you guys on board and having you on the show today. So appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that a lot of people don't really realize what goes on in camp. I mean, there's so much to it. I mean, if they follow us on social media or they follow USA Boxing, Brian does a great job of putting the athletes out there and putting little clips and pictures, but they don't realize the hard work that goes into it. I mean, we're up early in the morning for the weigh-ins. We have two training sessions. Well, now we have so many more because of the COVID situation. But we're absolutely up there working. The kids are working. And I think that a lot of people don't realize the hard work that goes behind building an Olympian, because that's our goal. Our goal is to go and qualify and to go to the Olympics.
So, Coach, for this question is for both of you guys. What has been the most challenging part about being a coach for Team USA? And can you share any story that you may have where you faced a challenge and how you've dealt with that challenge as a team?
Go ahead, Mark. I'll let you go first this time.
Well, I think there's a lot of challenges. I mean, like I said, it's kind of getting out of your comfort zone. I mean, when I first got in there, like, I had no idea what's going on. So you kind of got to adjust on the fly. When you see a lot of people that you've been, you've seen over the years, but now you have to actually work with them, and they have very different styles, and they do different things that you're used to. It tests your ability as a coach a lot. So I know, like, I remember the first time I worked with maybe I think it was one of the guys that was in there. I don't remember one of the names, but he was throwing punches that I thought were great, but then Billy comes in and says, this is the way we want to do it as an international fight, and which is very different. So you have to get used to that style of an international scoring system, and then as you get more comfortable with that style, then you try to bring it back into your fighters that you're training. So I think it's challenging just because it gets you out of your comfort zone. Everybody in their own gym is used to being, what they say goes, and I think turning that into, you're going off a whole different style that U.S. hasn't really caught up to yet. So we're working with that.
How about you, Coach Tim?
Yeah, so one of the biggest challenges I find is that, for the most part, we're not the head coaches of these boxers. They have home coaches that have nurtured them in some cases and taught them their craft their way, and so we all have different ways. So to try to connect with the boxer on the boxing level, and you're not their main coach, because they've been dealing with somebody for 10, 15 years. That's definitely a challenge. But I think all of the coaches that are there have, in some way, touched all of the Olympic qualifying team in some way, which is probably why we're there. Where I see that a challenge that I recognized one time was just basically. When we were at a tournament and we were just getting a couple of losses in a row, and I see the team, coaches and boxers gather around and started supporting more from the stands and encouragement to try to get switched around. Even though it's a individual sport, the team came together and the coaches came together and tried to get it turned around.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, let me ask you another question too. I know I've seen Christine or Coach Lopez. I don't know how you guys know her as in camp. What do they call
They call me Queen.
Queen?
They call me the Queen.
Coach Queen, as she says. I know that she's shown a lot of times whenever there's been an opportunity to showcase some of the stuff that you guys do and things like that, and on some of the qualifiers, I've seen the intensity of some of the coaches from these other countries. I mean, how do you guys keep that composure when you got having your guys, you're in the corner or in that particular section, and you have you guys, fighting to qualify on these events? How do you keep that composure, or do you not? You just, you hear them talking, you got to talk some trash too. I mean, at that level, it seems to be more professional. You're not just kind of, going to say whatever you can, because, you have to carry yourself as a professional at all times. But how do you kind of keep yourself composed in that particular environment, especially when, you can feel the hostility from another country representing for theirs?
Sometimes we don't keep our composure, but no, that's the goal: being professional, right, and showing that level of calmness and confidence and focus, to where you're paying attention to what you have to do. Because really, if we're not in control, we can't expect the boxers to be in control. So one of that's staying focused in the corner and being calm, I think, is rubs off on the boxers as well. And, now we have different personalities. So we have some boxers that's what they like to do. They like to talk. We don't encourage it. We don't condone it. But sometimes that's how they get motivated. Sometimes that's what they do to help their opponent make a mistake. So sometimes you just gotta let them do a little bit of what they do.
Hey, sometimes you just got to represent and set what needs to be said.
Right.
That right, Coach? Ain't that right, Coach Mark?
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
I think there's an intensity, but there's also a lot of professionalism when you're at these tournaments, and it's almost, when you're in there, it's not as intense feeling as it is if you were going to a local show when people are screaming and yelling over your head. It's almost like it's really professional when we're in there, so it's a little easier to kind of really focus on your athlete. Even when we're in the big stadiums and they're yelling and stuff, it's really, I feel like it's a little more easier just because you know what you're trying to do, you know where you're at. I guess, like Tim said, it depends on the athlete, because some of them, they lose themselves a little bit in there, and they're doing this and that. But some of them, when they're on and you can tell them stuff and they're doing it, it's not like, it's not like you have to yell and scream at them. You just tell them and they're right on. So it's nice when you get a good boxing and a good fight, and you're able to dictate, your pace, and they're winning and they get the decision. It's always nice.
Good deal.
A lot of people don't realize. So the athletes, they go to camp for weeks, months with competition and stuff. But we do too as coaches. So Tim and Mark, wouldn't you agree that you needed a really strong support system, because we're gone, we're on the road for weeks, sometimes a couple of months. And how do y'all's family deal with that? Like what do y'all go through, to be able to get away and do those things?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. For me, I have 2 young kids. My wife is really good with being able to take the load for me. There's been some tournaments that I just I couldn't have made, but I try to, I do my best to make time when I can. I know this, when the pandemic stuff was happening, and it was really tough because I had to shut down my gym as well. So we were kind of stuck. But it takes a big commitment from everybody. It's like I told her, it's not just like me out there. It's a whole family thing, because especially when you guys become part of the family, it's like everybody's kind of looking out for each other. But I know it takes a toll, and especially with another year here, to do it, with still the same goal in mind, to change your strategy, to say, all right, one more year, let's keep doing the same thing we're doing. It takes a lot out of you. So I think everybody needs a little support.
Tim, are you frozen? I think Tim's frozen.
Am I frozen?
Tim,
How about now?
you're
Is that
frozen.
Don't worry, Tim. It's a
That's
flattering
good.
view.
Actually, yeah,
Really
that was a
handsome.
great view. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. So Tim, what about
Am I
you
still
and the
frozen?
family? No, you're good now.
Okay, so Mark was spot on there. One of the things that I think helps us is that literally, I think as the coaches, like we connect as family somewhat. We've been around each other in some cases more than our home family, and then that spills off with that camaraderie between us. I think that helps the boxers feel the same way. So that helps deal with that. I'm not gonna lie, it's tough. It's tough. Like Christine said, some people think that it's just a piece of cake, and oh wow, you get to go on a trip across the ocean, but they don't know what it takes of being in camp and dealing with the athletes and the issues that come up, and then the training, and then pushing them, and then waking up early, and I try to manage my own business while I'm away at camp and way overseas. So I'm pulling double duty sometimes, and it's very tough, but it's also very rewarding because seeing the athlete get better, seeing them win their accolades, a medal or whatever it may be, and then ultimately a gold medal at the Olympics or a medal at the Olympics would just be a fantastic feeling. So that's how you deal. Is, we get along with each other and have fun while we're out there.
So to any of you coaches, and that includes you, Christine, what's been a funny moment that you guys have had at camp at any given time? Like, is there a story you guys can share? We have to break outside of that mold of being so structured and disciplined, but I know you guys have to have fun and keep that sanity. What has been a good example of you guys having fun, a funny moment, or something that happened? You guys played a prank on somebody. Can anyone share a story of that? Okay, I guess
I'll
no
let you
funny
guys.
moment at Team
No.
USA.
I'll let you guys go first. We find our times. Mark, Tim, y'all go first.
Look, it's pretty crazy because it's funny all the time for the most part. Like when we're not training, right? So we're constantly digging at each other, which makes it fun. Whether it's through text or whether it's in person, we find time to go hang out and play dominoes. And I mean, it's literally, we're laughing all the time. We rip on each other so much. Like, I don't know if there's like this, a one time, that stands out for me. Other than the funniest thing involved with USA Boxing was with the other coach who's not here. It's a shame he's not here because he appreciates the story. But we were at the we were at World Championships. Actually, I don't know what tournament it was. And we were at the World Championships, and there was like a gala, and Roberto Duran was there. And so we waited and finally got a chance to meet him, and he walks up to him, and he said, "Man, it's so nice to meet you, Hands of Steel." And I just looked at him like, "Oh my gosh, it's the Hands of Stone."
That's
but
funny.
I didn't say anything. So
Right.
It's a pretty funny moment for me. But anyway,
That is pretty funny, and you definitely don't want to be throwing your partner or your colleague under the bus, right?
No,
Put
we
him on
do.
the spot.
We do.
we did afterwards. Oh yeah, afterwards. Now it's
Hands of Steel.
Hands of Steel. Coach Hands of Steel. Yeah.
What about you, Mark? Anything? I mean, I know Tim kind of just spoke on it on a big blanket statement, right?
I always remember this when Say again?
Come again, Mark?
Oh, no. What I always remember was I was in, so we had two different tournaments going on at the same time. We had one in India, the World Championship females, and we had one in Netherlands. And I was supposed to go in the Netherlands one, and for some reason someone dropped out, so they asked me to go to the World Championship. So I ended up going to India. So I'm in India, and I don't know if you guys have ever been to India, but it's very different. It's very different, and it's very crowded, and it's dirty, and it's people food and all that stuff. So we're sitting there. So I'm showing them pictures of like a dead dog on the street, and we're walking through these places. There's nothing here. It's like 100 degrees, and they're sending me videos of on a yacht, flying around this beautiful harbor in the Netherlands with all the boxes, and I'm sitting there sending them pictures of these little bazaars I'm in with flies flying around to me. So we were just cracking on each other, but I was catching that one. I always laugh at that.
Good deal. Well, hey, too bad. Like they said, you all guys are always cracking up on each other, and maybe they were just trying to rub it in your face a little. That you didn't have a 5-star hotel out there in India, right?
No, that was in the Netherlands,
Yeah.
right? We're at the 5-star hotel in the Netherlands.
Man, I can never give that one back.
Good deal. Well, it's life experience. You're earning your stripes, man. You're earning your stripes.
Yeah, and then I got there, and then so I make them look good. We go play disc golf, we play dominoes, whatever, cornhole. I make them look good because I can't do any of those things. So so I feel like I've brought a lot of positivity to the group. But we have a lot of fun and good times. We definitely do.
So, Coach Tim, let me ask you this. Did you ever see yourself like maybe 20, 30 years from today? Did you ever think that you would be a coach or participating with Team USA Boxing? Did you ever envision that?
Yes.
Is that something you put your mind to it and made it happen?
Yeah, I definitely knew because I had a late start in boxing, and I turned pro when I was 40, only for the purpose of not to be world champion or anything, but to get the experience so that nobody could take that away from me and use that as part of my coaching process. So I knew a long time ago that's what I wanted to do. I didn't know how to do it at that time. I didn't know, when they were looking and who has the option to be in there. But I knew I was going to coach an Olympian, and I just didn't know how I was going to get there. So I just stayed the course.
How about you, Mark? Did you think that you would 20, 30 years ago that you would be participating or playing a part in Team USA Boxing?
No. 20 years ago, I was wrapped up in being a young kid, being young dumb, But I was trying to figure it out. I would even say 10 years ago, I was just figuring out, coaching. I was figuring out how to do it, how to be a, how to be a role model and all that stuff. I wasn't prepared to do it at a top level. I think it's something that you have to, like learn. Like Tim said, you have to get a little experience with, even with life. I definitely wasn't prepared for that at that stage. And I think only 5 years ago or so, I feel like I really came around and I matured enough to be an actual role model, leader, teacher, and all that stuff.
So for all you three coaches, so I've had the pleasure of visiting OTC, right? And I visited Christine while she was out there coaching. I went ahead and took the tour of the facility, but what can you guys talk about? What is some of the greatest amenities that you get at that facility? I mean, it's a great facility, but what can you guys speak on? And what's the thing that you like the most about training in that state of the art facility?
I'll go. Hey, the food is good.
Of course, Tim's like the food.
It's like cruise ship food, right? It's a lot to choose from. It's pretty good. But for me, I think if I'm the athletes, I think it's the recovery. Being able to use Normatec, Game Ready, sauna, steam room, contrast bath, massages. They get all of that stuff. It's all included. So I think that's the biggest benefit.
Yeah, I'd say the amenities that the athletes get are top notch. They get their whole day is basically practice and then recover from practice. It's all taken care of for them. So a lot of times, they don't even realize how much they can use of the stuff. I think they don't realize it because they're coming from other places that don't have that. So, the first couple of times they're out there, they don't realize that they can get massages, they can get, recovery sessions, all this stuff. So it takes a little bit of time. And I know for me, it's the coffee machine. Coffee machine is my favorite.
No, I totally agree. I mean, they have coaching from one of the greatest coaches in the world, and then they have us that love and care about them. But then the recovery, I mean, they have doctors, they have strength and conditioning coach, nutritionists, they have everything. I mean, there's nothing that they want for. If they need to go somewhere, we take them, and they're very well taken care of. I do agree with the food, obviously, and the coffee too, though. That for us, that's good because we don't get to get massages and stuff, but the athletes do.
The altitude too. I forget the altitude does.
Yes,
Never trained.
absolutely.
That's like a gift.
And you guys get a great view of the mountains too. I mean, me as a tourist, and I was out there visiting, I thought, I was out there snapping photos where I could, but within the limits of the tour. I know they were talking about not taking pictures of certain things, and for the privacy of the techniques and all the stuff that you guys have to keep secured. But great facility, and too bad I wasn't privileged to the food. So now I do want to say you guys are probably the best of the best when it comes to qualifying and being part of the coaching staff, right? But could you say that you're still motivated by someone other than yourself, and could it be any other fighters or any other coaches? Are you still constantly motivated daily by someone else to elevate your game and take you to the next level? Can you guys speak on any of that? Like, who motivates you, or do you just have to maintain motivated by yourself?
Tim, you're up, Tim.
I'm up. All right. So, my ultimate motivation, I got to say, comes from my mom, who passed a couple years ago while I was on a trip overseas. And I hear her voice, all the time telling me, keep doing what you're doing, that you got to, do it for the kids and do it for the boxers, because, your love for the sport is contagious, and that, they'll feed off of that. Boxer wise, I learned and motivated by many different coaches, including Coach Billy, including Mark, including Christine, Goose, Jeff Mays, all of the boxers that are coaches that are there. They all motivate me because we're not always 100%. So when we're down, I see Christine all happy in the morning or whatever, and so then I get motivated. Or you get tired, and I see Mark over there doing 20 rounds of mitts, and with a smile. So I get motivated by everybody that's at camp.
Good deal, and sorry about your loss, Coach.
Mark.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I'm 100% motivated all the time. I consider myself still young in the game a little bit. I'm learning. I take my notebook every camp still. I write down every workout we did, and I always write down notes. I take it as an education. I take it. That's the only way I can really, I'm out there with the world-class athletes. I'm learning too. I feel like every time I'm out there, I'm learning. And if I don't learn, what am I doing? I feel like I have a lot. We haven't even got to some of the best stuff we've been doing yet. We just got our team, so I think this year is gonna be really cool. We're gonna do some cool stuff because we know our athletes now pretty well, and I think that's gonna motivate us to try to qualify everybody and get everybody where they need to go.
Good deal.
Yeah,
Appreciate it, Coach.
I totally agree. I'm always learning. I'm gonna I mean, by the time I'm in the grave, I'm still not going to know everything that I need to know. And I look at these guys. I mean, they're my brothers. I genuinely love them. We genuinely have each other's back, and I watch what they do, and I want to mimic it. I send Billy, videos and ask him, like, if you see something that I'm doing wrong, please let me know. The same with the team, the guys. It's I admire them. I mean, um, it was not an easy task to get there and to be called back continuously. It's really not. Um, so I continually want to learn, and I know they do too. And we just really feed off each other and help each other, most definitely. Someone's down, we bring them up, and we just we carry each other, most definitely, I think.
And I mean, you guys are also spending a lot of times away from your family, and you guys endure that separation because you're mentally tough and things like that. But what about some of these younger guys and younger girls that are on this team and this squad, and they're away from their families? Is it tough for them? Do they ever get homesick? And if so, what do you guys do to motivate them and keep them focused? What do you say to the younger mindset that's struggling with that?
All right, Tim, you're first.
All right. So is that because my name begins with a B and that's before G?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
So I think it's not so much what we say to them, at least from my perspective. It's more what we do. We do try to do team activity. We do try to pretty much chauffeur them wherever they want to go, Walmart, haircut, whatever it may be. So they do get homesick. There's no doubt. They we do too, but we try not to show it as much. But they do. So hopefully, just doing team activities. Always asking. Not all of them do it, but the ones that I think that might be homesick might might jump along just to kind of get that out of their mind. So I think just being together and offering is the best way to help them.
Yeah, definitely. And they know that we're away from our families too. And I've had some of the girls say, "I know you're away from your family too, and I know you're homesick." And we're like, honestly, we do everything for them. I mean, we're not. Yes, is it great to be there? Yes, is it great to be part of the team or whatever? But it's not like we're making $1 million. We do it because of the love of the sport, the love of the boxers, and we truly want them to get those medals. And we'll do whatever we have to do to help them get there. Sometimes we have to be mom and dad and say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And we've told the athletes before, we'll do whatever it takes to get those medals. But yeah, they get homesick. They're young. They have boyfriends, girlfriends, parents, whatever, and they do get homesick, but we really try to keep them motivated, and look, you're in the most coveted position in the USA, for boxing. So let's do it. Let's capitalize on it.
Yep. Hey, Mark, welcome back.
All right, guys.
No, we had some technical difficulties, but
difficulties.
glad to have you back.
Yeah.
So when we were talking about some of the younger athletes, just trying to focus and overcome the hurdles of either being homesick, is there anything like that you've encountered yourself, Coach, where you have to motivate someone and keep them focused, especially when they're feeling homesick?
To tell you the truth, I think it's a daily thing. I mean, I think most of them are constantly homesick, and they're dealing with it as well as we are. So we have to kind of pick each other up, and you have to see you kind of see the same things that they're going through, that you're going through, and you have to say, "Whoa, come on! Like we got to get through this." There's definitely like spots. The first couple of days of camp, everybody's flying. Then it kind of hits a lull, so you gotta fight through that lull, and then you're about to leave for the country, so everybody's back up, and then once you get there, everybody starts to trail off again because now you're like, oh man, I'm in this country and we don't have a tournament for 3 days, and you're kind of stuck. So there's certain points where you got to keep your eyes open to see where people start to drag. There's vulnerabilities vulnerabilities in certain areas, but I think that comes with experience. You know, after a few years of doing it, you can kind of realize where people are struggling and where they're not.
You know, and obviously, you know, to the outside world, it looks very glamorous and fun. You know, you see the pictures at the OTC, you know, traveling all over the world and stuff. But there's some real hard work, like mentally and physically and emotionally, that you go through. And I honestly think that it takes special people to go through it, you know. And I'm so blessed to be surrounded with great guys that are meant to be here. You know, sometimes we get some criticism. You know, social media can be like a wonderful thing or a horrible thing, but you know what? We just got to keep our head up. The athletes have to keep their heads up, and we just remember, you know, why we're there. You know, gold medals, and we just move forward.
Gold medals, baby. So, I mean, that definitely has to be the ultimate motivation. Coach team spoke on it. And Mark, you know, you guys got to continue to focus and motivate yourselves. That's, you know, that's a challenging job. I hear it from Christine, you know, the challenges that you guys go through. And man, I can imagine. I mean, my hat goes off to all of you coaches, just because you guys are representing the whole country, and the team has to go out there and excel and be the best of the best they can be, right? So, you know, nothing worth having comes easy, and you know those gold medals ain't coming easy. So, you know, we definitely commend you guys on the hard work that you put in, and the countless hours, the separation away from your families, your children, and the people back home. Coach Mark, I did hear you say that you had a gym back home in Boston. What's the name of the gym, and where is it located?
It's No Anthem Boxing Club, and it's over in Newton, Mass, right outside Boston. We have a full gym down up 2 floors, so it's been really, you know, it's been about 12 years now. We've been there 12, 13 years. This last couple of months have been tough, but we're building right back up, and hopefully get back up and running full speed soon enough.
Good deal. Well, you definitely want to. We definitely wanted to take the time to shed some light to the gym as well, so that, you know, there may be someone up and coming out there that can watch this video and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm in the area. I may have to stop by, and you know, it'll be the beginning of a new life for them." You know, so I know. For me, I've had the opportunity to fall in love with boxing, and it's definitely saved my life, and it's changed my life for the positive, in the sense that, you know what, I've heard a lot of things about the sport. You know, sometimes it's not always positive, but the great things that you guys are doing out there, you guys are giving it a facelift, and you guys would definitely, you know, put the sport in a great position for other kids to succeed and have great careers and great outcomes. So kudos to you guys.
And Tim has a gym too.
I do.
So Tim,
Boxing Academy in Cincinnati, Ohio. So it's fairly new, but you know, right now we probably got about 10 to 15 boxers that come. So trying to build it up. It's hard to do when you're at camp and overseas with the team, but the COVID stay at home gave me the opportunity to get it up and running and get it somewhat established, and so hopefully it continues when I'm away. But it's been a dream of mine, and so we'll see how it goes.
Well, we're rooting for you, Coach, and Coach Mark as well. You know, you guys are definitely continue to pack the house and continue to change lives for the positive. So, you know, we're rooting for you, and we're glad that we were able to, you know, put that out there for people to know where your gyms are located and put them on the main stage. So good deal on that.
I know, and I so appreciate y'all for coming on. You know, these are my boxing brothers. They're definitely family. We clicked immediately, and they helped the days go by. So I really appreciate them, most definitely. And I admire them. I look at everything that they do, and I want to mimic it and get better.
Yeah, thank you for joining, Coach Mark and Coach Tim. You know, we definitely appreciate your time, and I know some of you guys are either enjoying time with your family or just enjoying your time on the beach,
partying,
whatever
Florida.
that may be.
Yeah,
you know, Definitely thank you for taking time out of your day and joining us today. So
Yeah.
I gotta make something happen and be out there on the beach soon, man, because
Yeah,
this quarantine life.
definitely.
Going soon.
Yeah, exactly. No, I appreciate y'all guys. I really do.
Appreciate you guys
Thank
having
you
us
so
on.
much. Yes,
All right,
definitely.
guys. Thank you so much. Signing off.
See y'all soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.